this exam has 3 sections, right? So each person's strength might differ. So if your strength is VARC, or if your strength is not VARC also, it is very important to start practicing this from the beginning, because this section is something that can add a lot of value to your final percentile. And one major thing I see with every person with VARC is they tend to attend only the questions they are very sure of. So I would suggest you guys don't do that, and you attend all the questions in the exam, because so every question will be in a way where you can take an educated guess, right? So if you start preparing from now, if you start solving RC passages from now, then at a point you will realize what will the option be. So even though you take educated guesses, you will not get so many answers wrong if you constantly practice. So, but in case where you choose specific questions, there is always a chance you go wrong, even in questions you choose. Even in questions where you're sure it's going to be right, because this is a very subjective section, right? So because of that, I would suggest you guys attend all the possible questions in the section. And right from the beginning, one more thing you can do is to solve passages on the computer and not on books, because this made a major difference. Because when you solve the passages on books, your reading practice might be way different than when you solve it on a computer. Because at a point when you get used to solving it on paper, then you might not be able to solve it in a smooth way on a computer. At least this I felt. So from the beginning, I started solving passages in a timed environment on a computer. So this made me more used to that environment on the final examination. And also, it is important you read a lot, because most of these passages fall into specific categories, right? They are either philosophy, they are based on literature, history, science, economics, and some very few are based on business concepts. So once you start reading articles from these, then based on this, then you'll get more used to the terminologies here, because economics is one area where I felt difficulty in reading the passage in a smooth manner because of the terminologies used. So you can start reading more news articles or any books, magazines, anything where based on economics, or any section or any category you find difficult, so that you get used to the terminology, and this will prove to be very helpful on your final examinations also. And vocabulary with CAT, you might not be asked any specific vocabulary or to name the meaning of it. But it is good to learn one word per day, and it is more important to learn in which context you can use that word than the word itself, right? And also from the beginning, by which I mean, if you're starting a preparation today, then it should be from today. So you train your attention span, right? You stop reading easy passages, start with moderate passages and move on to difficult passages, because in CAT you won't be asked very difficult passages, so it will be of moderate level, right? Once you cross the moderate, and by October if you're able to solve difficult RC passages with utmost accuracy, then I think you'll be in a very good position to score more than 98 or 99 percentile in your VARC in the CAT. And also you should start taking sectionals, like I had mentioned before, since day one. Start doing the passages in a timed environment, because that can make a lot of difference to you. So with VARC, summarizing, practice is the only thing that can take you through, and don't solve easy passages. Start with moderate ones. Even if you're scoring less in the beginning, it's fine, but attend all the questions and start taking moderate passages, so that over time you will get a grip of them. And in general, so this is more of a mindset, this exam is. And again, you have to understand that this is an exam which is set for mostly working professionals, right? Who don't have time, maybe 4 hours, 5 hours a day to sit and prepare. So even the exam is set in a way keeping this in mind. So you have to play smart to ace this exam. So it's not about how long you study, it's not about if you're investing 4 hours, 5 hours. So the capacity and attention span of each person varies. I was able to spend only 2 hours a day, but I made sure in those 2 hours, whatever I'm learning, I remember and I don't come back to those concepts. So I think that is more important. Even if your friend says they sit and study for 5 hours, and if you're not able to sit and study for 5 hours, I think it's fine. But even if you're spending an hour, please spend in a more quality way. Make sure whatever you learn in that 1 hour, you remember, and you take it till your final examination, right? And again, you have to take ample number of breaks. There were days when I had taken a break for 2 days straight. I do nothing, just relax. But third day, I had the strength or capacity to finish up whatever I had missed in the 2 days, because this will help you avoid burnout, right? So take care of your mental health also, because that plays a major part in the preparation. And more than that, ask yourself why you want to do an MBA, because this not only helped me crack my exam, but it helped me through my interview also, and it is helping me after I joined IIM also. Thank you, Edushastra. It's a great opportunity, and I'm very glad they are providing free resources and helping people ace this exam. I'm very, very glad they are doing it. Please access, make use of the resources. So these resources can be very, very valuable than what you think they really are. So please check them out, make use of them, and just take care of yourself. Ace this exam. Trust me, this is the easiest part in the entire process. And ask yourself why you want to do this, because this motivation is going to help you throughout the process. Because after your exam, you'll be getting your interviews, which will be a little higher in difficulty. And then once you come into IIMs, especially IIM A, B or C, this will be tested a lot. So only your motivation can get through the entire process. So stay hydrated, I would say. Maybe be motivated, stay relaxed, take ample amount of breaks, how many ever you want to. Don't compare yourself with anyone else. This is a game only with you and you. And follow Edushastra and make use of the resources. Again, they can be more valuable than what you think. Good luck to you all.
Identification of your strength and weakness is what I think should be the first part of your CAT preparation journey, because the whole idea of your prep journey is to work on your weakness so that it no longer remains your weakness, and to strengthen your strength so much that you bounce on your strengths to an extent that it helps you boost your percentile to an extent that your overall percentile looks nice. So coming to how I did it, as I told you, Quant was my weakness. I generally did not do that well in Quant. Not that I cannot solve those questions. I know it might sound odd that being an engineer, how can I say Quant is my weakness? But solving it in the limited time and picking the right questions, not going for the difficult questions just for the sake of going for it. All of these challenges were the major reasons because of which I usually did not do well in previous year papers in specifically Quant section. So how I went about it was that initially I focused on concept clarity, that is to say, whatever are the important sections in CAT, which normally are arithmetic and algebra, I focused on having concept clarity in the initial few weeks and months on these topics completely. I was not solving many questions, I was just doing concept clarity on these specific topics which are important for Quant. This is another important thing. We don't want to become quantitative aptitude experts. What we want to become is good enough for CAT. For CAT, whatever is good enough strategically, we have to do only that much. We don't have to burn our bridges and do much more than what is needed. So that is what worked for me. I focused on arithmetic and algebra in the initial few weeks, and then eventually I did do geometry, counting and other topics as well. But the focus was majorly on these two areas, or that was my strategy, that initially I will work on the topics which have the maximum weightage in CAT, and given that these questions will be the maximum in the CAT paper as well, I am more likely to solve the questions or more number of questions in CAT if I am able to have concept clarity in these areas. So that is the first step. After you have identified your strength and weakness, work on your weakness, specifically on concept clarity first, and then going on to questions. Apart from that, in quantitative aptitude, the only major challenge specifically, and this is okay, not specific to engineers or any background, the major challenge is picking the right set of questions and not getting stuck on a question for too long. I think that was the major challenge, is what I identified throughout the mocks that I gave. The mocks that I did not do well were the mocks where maybe 2 or 3 questions I took it on my ego and I was like, I will solve this question anyhow. How can I not solve this question? This is an easy question. But okay, we will have to be okay with not solving a question if it crosses that 1.5, 2 minute mark, or whatever is your ideal mark after you have given enough number of papers to have that strategy in place. Be okay with leaving the questions that you are not able to solve either in time or they are just too difficult for you. You should be happy that you have identified a difficult question, because eventually you will be able to find the easy question if you have time to do so.
Since CAT is also a time-based exam, you might have to find easier methods of finding that. And for that, you have to understand for each question, once you solve it, your own method. Try to understand what other methods could be used to solve that question more easily. So for that, you keep, like I mentioned before, you need to maintain a formula book where you will be having all your formulas. Based on that, you just write down what was the easiest method that you found out to solve a particular question. What was easier, so that when you revise, you'll be able to have it. And like I mentioned, keep taking your mocks as much as possible. And if you could maintain an Excel sheet where you could note down your mock performance, that will also be very helpful. Like, what were your weakness, what is the mistake that you made, so that the next time you give a mock, you understand, like, these were the previous mistakes that I made and I won't be making this the next time. So that is what is most important. And like I mentioned, in DILR, in DI, different types of be acquainted with a lot of different types of charts. Like, there might be line graphs, pie charts, bar graphs, and then cumulative bar graphs, and so much more. So just try to have an idea about all the types of graphs. That is the main thing. And your percentages, like when you're learning ratios, you might be learning all your percentages, like 1/7, 1/4, which is equal to 25%, like that. Just have it really thorough, because that will be really useful in your quants and data interpretation also. For LR, like I told, if you played a lot of logic games in your childhood or even now, then LR might be a bit easier for you. But for LR, there will be a lot of clues and points given. So it is important that you understand each point correctly, because even if you understand one point wrong, your whole set might get wrong. And getting a whole set wrong will be like 4 or 5 questions wrong, which will be like, if you got those 4 or 5 questions, you'll be getting 15 marks. But if you're getting them wrong, you are getting -5. So it's very important that you take your time and understand what is written on each logical reasoning question. So pay attention to what you're reading and attempt each question carefully.